Department at CPS, and I am also a conference team planner. So I'm really happy that you're all here with us. We have a great and packed session, so I won't spend too much time talking. But before we begin, I'm going to just remind everyone of the values that have informed our conference today and that we're trying to uphold throughout the session. So if you would just take a moment to choose a value or values that are listed here, and just hold those in your mind. Which ones would you like to focus on for this session and the rest of the day? And without further ado, I will introduce our three presenters so that we can get started. They are not only excellent CPS dance teachers, but they work with our team as arts instruction specialists. So you're in excellent hands for the session. So I will turn things over to Elisa Foshay, Gina Spears, and Victorson.
Good morning, everybody. I'm MK Victorson. I'm the dance teacher at Hibbert Elementary in Albany Park. I teach pre-K through 6th grade dance. I'm happy to see you. Welcome. And I'm focusing on renewal today. Love that one.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elisa Foshay. I am the dance teacher at Jones College Prep in the South Loop. We are a high school. I teach grades 9 through 12. And I think the word that I'm focusing on today is rest, trying to seek some balance as we return to the building. First time in the dance studio in about a year.
Hi, my name is Gina Spears. I teach pre-K through 8 dance at Portage Park Elementary School. And I am also going to be focusing on rest today. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to see all of you. Our agenda for today is we just did a welcome. We're going to have an opening circle with a one-word reflection. Then we will do some guided movement exploration. After that, we will do some journaling and a longer reflection. We will breathe for balance. And then we will do a closing circle with a new one-word reflection, followed by some discussions on ways you can use this in your classroom. Our objectives for today, you will be able to develop dynamic breathing techniques through guided practice. You will be able to integrate breath and movement to create a more expressive moving body. And we will discuss options for using this in the classroom.
All right, so this is what we would do in a circle if we were in person, but we're going to do this over our meeting and we're going to use a Jamboard. So we're going to go ahead and drop a Jamboard link into the chat and ask you to join the Jamboard and present it to you. And we're going to ask you to think about the year that you've had, the particular school year that you've had. It's been a tumultuous school year with a lot of changes and a lot of upheaval. So think about a one-word reflection. If it's 2 or 3, that's all right. Think about a one-word reflection or phrase that you would like to offer up on the Jamboard as a reflection on this school year. And we'll get started with that.
Well, that is, again, the other Jamboard. We want the one that says one-word reflection. Let me know if you need help.
And once we get there, if you are new to Jamboard, all you do is grab the sticky note from the side toolbar, write your reflection on it, and then you'll be able to post it on the board. Here we go. All right, a reflection on the school year. And that reflection might be where you're at today. Distracted is a good one. Thank you. Or it might encompass the whole year. Either, all of that's good.
Sorry about the confusion, folks. The second Jamboard that's dropped into the chat is the correct one.
Right, long, drained, isolating, improvisation. These are excellent. emotional, new, maddening. I use that word a lot. I love that one. It's a favorite of mine. And as we're writing these, as we're adding these to our Jamboard, just take a look at, we're going to do a lot of noticing today with the breathing and movement activity. So let's do some noticing right now. Just if you've added your reflection, take a look at the board and what do you notice about it? And you, if you would like to, you can write anything you notice in the chat about these words, about this collection of words. For me, I'm noticing that most of them apply to me and how I feel about the year. I love, I love it too, Rachel. Yep, font sizes for emphasis. And if for any reason you can't get into that Jamboard, just go ahead and add your reflection into the chat. But these are great. Arts people, LOL. Thank you for that, Jose. All right, we will keep this, the link is there, so please keep adding and sharing your reflections. We're going to keep moving along to our movement exploration. I'm going to turn it over to Elisa Foshay.
All right, good morning, everybody. So we're going to do a little bit of a movement activity. This is going to go for probably about 15, 20 minutes. And this is going to include a little bit of kind of restful or mindful noticing, and then a little bit more active moving. With everything that we're doing today, honor where your body is on this day at this time and work with not only where you are, but how you're feeling today. So when we're doing our movement exercises, when we're doing the movement activity, move in a way that feels good to you. The old saying for many dance teachers is, if it hurts, don't do it. That's really true here. If it's not feeling good to you, that's okay. Listen to what your body's telling you. Let your body be your guide as we continue down the journey. I'm going to give you some suggestions, some things to notice, maybe some things to pay attention to. But if at any time that's not working for you, take care of your body and take care of your own needs first. Likewise, now folks, when we're first starting, you may choose to start either seated or lying down. Again, we're going to start with a more restful period of noticing. So if it's comfortable for you and your environment to lay down on the floor, I would recommend that. If that's not going to work for you right now, you can absolutely do this seated. If you're going to do our first portion seated, what I'm going to ask you to do is sit, if you can, with both feet flat on the floor. See what I'm doing here. Here we go. Bend your knees, 2 feet flat on the floor. And if you can, you'll sit towards the edge of your seat so that you can have a nice long spine. We want to create as much space for our lungs to breathe and have space to move. If you tend to cross your legs, try to uncross them. Again, 2 feet flat on the floor, long spine if you're going to start seated for this first portion. If you're going to start down on the floor, then come on down to the floor. And we'll start here. Now, folks, like I said, as we continue on together, I'm going to give you some suggestions. I'll give you some things to think about or guide your journey. Take or leave as you would, or as you need. I'm also going to offer to you a little bit of background music. So I'm not going to use music during my instruction because I want you to be able to hear my voice clearly while we're on a Zoom call together. But if you would like to have a little bit of music as part of your experience, you are certainly welcome to curate your own playlist. Sorry, I'm in school. Hold on. Passing out equipment.
Department and PE department, please come down to the main office. If law is in the building and didn't make it down, please come to the main office. Thank you.
We're getting our stuff yet. It's getting exciting. All right. So if you would like to have your own background music for this experience, feel free to curate your own playlist. I'm going to offer to you, if someone could drop, Nora, if you could drop the first YouTube link into the chat, that would be lovely. I'm going to offer a little bit of music for your background experience. If you would like to grab the link out of the YouTube chat and play that on your own device at home. It's a song by Lane Redmond, who is a frame drum musician. So if you want to have a little bit of background music, feel free to take the YouTube link out of the chat, or you can curate your own experience, your own playlist for this. Again, I'll be giving you directions without music. All right. If you're going to start seated, again, have a seat, be comfortable. If you're on the floor, come on down. And if we're starting on the floor, there are a couple of options for how your body is going to start. You can choose to start either in a traditional Shavasana pose, which is basically lying down. And if you're going to do Shavasana, we're going to lie down on our back. Your legs are about 3 feet apart, arms to your sides, slightly away from the body. Palms can be up or down, whatever feels more comfortable for you. For Shavasana, we're going to allow our throat to soften and the back of the neck to lengthen just a little bit. So you're going to tuck the chin to the chest slightly, just so that we're not popping the chin up. Now, if that doesn't feel quite good to your body today, but you want to be down here on the floor, try constructive rest. Bend your knees, feet down on the floor, knees up. Allow your knees to fall in towards each other. Your feet are a little bit wider than your knees, so we're going to let the weight of the legs kind of tent in and hold each other up. That's going to allow your lower back to release a little bit, and this may feel more comfortable in your body today. So the choice is yours for where you begin this exploration. Constructive rest, feet down, knees up. Shavasana, laying on the back, or up on your seat, feet flat on the floor. Wherever is going to work for your body today, go ahead and find your starting place. Close your eyes away from the light and start to just relax and to breathe. Beginning our time, beginning our journey, just by noticing. Take a few breaths wherever you are beginning. Inhaling and exhaling. Settling in and letting go. Feeling a sense of expansion as you inhale and softening as you exhale. Exhaling to give the weight to gravity. Exhaling to settle down or fall. As we continue to breathe, notice where you feel your breath taking place in your body. Without expectation or judgment, there's no anticipated result, no desired change. Right now, just notice. Where in your body do you feel your breath taking place? As you inhale, where do you feel your body open? Where does your body expand? Where do you feel that breath create a sense of widening in the body? As you exhale, what part of you feels that release, the letting go and giving into gravity? What part of you gets softer as you exhale? noticing without judgment, no expectation, no desired result or change, just noticing. Where in your body do you feel your breath? Where do you feel your breath taking place? Wherever you feel your breath, say yes to that feeling. See if you can deepen your inhale into that part of you by about 20%. Could you breathe a little more deeply into that space? Create a little bit more openness with your inhale. A little greater expansion. And as you exhale, invite softening and releasing to that part of you. How much can you let go? How much can you give in? In your mind's eye, bring your focus, bring your internal attention to your lungs. See your lungs divided into 3 distinct portions: an upper lobe, a middle lobe, and a lower lobe of your lungs. Beginning in the lowest portion of the lungs, the bottom lobe, go ahead and take your hands to your belly. Place your hands on your belly right around your belly button. As you inhale, send your breath into your hands. Try to expand your belly as you breathe in. As you exhale, see if you can allow your belly to soften. Feel the hands slide a little closer together as the air releases out. Inhaling into the lowest, most portion of the lungs. Expanding and opening the belly as you inhale. Softening the belly, releasing the organs as you exhale. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale to soften and gather. As you inhale, feel your diaphragm expand like a balloon stretching down. Feel the lungs pressing on the diaphragm as you inhale and expand. And then as you exhale, feel that elasticity bring the air out with ease. As we continue to breathe together, if your pattern of inhale and exhale is coming at a different speed than mine, that's okay. Breathe at the rate that feels comfortable for you. If at any time focusing on the breath becomes more anxiety-producing than soothing, let it go. Allow yourself to breathe normally and rest. In your mind's eye, take your awareness now to your middle portion of your lungs. Draw your hands up on the body to the lower portion of the ribs. Maybe placing the hands right around the fronts of the ribs, or maybe even sliding the hands to cup the sides of the rib cage. Holding the ribs below the chest in a way that feels comfortable. As you inhale, send your breath into your hands now. Expand the ribs widely as you inhale. Open the ribs out. As you exhale, feel the rib cage gather and soften.
Hello, can I have the art?
As you inhale, see if you can press your lungs into the ribs and feel those tiny intercostal muscles, those muscles that connect one rib to the next. Get a little stretch as you breathe. As you exhale, the ribs knit into the spine, collecting and strengthening. Again, inhaling into the middle portion of the lungs, expanding widely. Exhaling, gathering and collecting. From here, slide your hands up to your chest. You can place your hands gently on the front of the chest around the sternum. Crossing the arms, you could drape your hands over your shoulders, or do a same side drape, left hand draping over the left shoulder, right hand draping over the right shoulder. Taking the hands to the chest, the uppermost portion of the lungs. And again, as we breathe, send your breath into your hands. As you inhale, the chest expands, floats up, the sternum opens. As you exhale, feel the sternum settle down, the chest release, and the heart soften. Inhaling, the chest floats up. Maybe the lungs can open up into the shoulders and create space in the shoulders between all of those strong shoulder muscles. As we exhale, can the shoulders release and soften? Inhaling, creating space for the heart. Exhaling, softening, allowing the heart to rest. Allowing your hands to slide to a place that feels most comfortable for you now. Send your breath into all three portions of your lungs. Can you breathe into that lowermost, middlemost, and uppermost portion of your lungs simultaneously, growing in 3 dimensions with breath, expanding, widening, and opening as you inhale, collecting, softening, and gathering as you exhale. Expanding, opening, widening in all directions as you inhale. And softening, collecting, and gathering as you exhale. Starting to invite a little more movement into the body. On your next inhale, allow those arms to stretch over your head, And maybe if it works for you, extend the legs long, like you're taking a good morning stretch. As you exhale, just let that stretch go and soften your body into the pull of gravity. On your next inhale, try that again. Inhale for good morning stretch. Lengthening fingers away from toes, stretching the space between the rib cage and the hips. Exhaling to give in and soften. One more time. Inhale, lengthening. Good morning stretch, maybe reaching the right side a little longer or the left side a little longer. Taking this in a way that feels good for your body now. As you exhale, allow everything to soften and give in. Inhale, expand the body, allow yourself to grow. And on your next exhale, curl into one side. And bring yourself resting onto one side if you're on the floor, or maybe curling the spine if you're seated. Start to explore movement, following your breath. As you inhale, expand the body, whatever way that means to you today. You could be expanding your whole self. You could be expanding through one part of you. As you exhale, allow your body to gather and collect. Following your own breath, inhale, expand. Exhale, gather in. Inhale, expanding. Growing, reaching, widening, opening. Exhaling, collecting, softening, releasing, gathering, shrinking. Inhale to open. Exhale to gather. Keep exploring your movement, following your breath. Remember that if your inhales and exhales go at a different speed than mine, that's okay. Follow the speed of your breath. If your body wants to expand and soften in different ways, that's okay. Say yes to what your body is asking for. Perhaps expanding involves changing levels, getting way up off the ground. Perhaps expanding is taking you out of your chair, and softening is bringing you back. Saying yes to your experience of inhale to expand and exhale to soften. Inhale to expand, exhale to soften. As you continue to explore, allow your exploration to gently start to bring you back to your starting position. Whether you started seated or down on the ground, allow your inhales and exhales to gently bring you back to where you started. Eventually returning to your starting position of seated, constructive rest, or Shavasana. Once you're there, take a moment to breathe in a way that feels comfortable for you now. Noticing any changes that you may be experiencing in your body, in your mind, in how you're feeling, in how you're breathing. Changes may be subtle, they may be profound. When you're ready, if you're lying on the ground, on an inhale, reach one arm over your head. Roll towards that arm and lay on your side. Your arm's a pillow for your head. Use your hands to push yourself up to seated. And if you're already seated, when you're ready, gently blink your eyes open. And on your own time, gently make your way back to the screen. And let's reconnect and reflect a little.
Thank you, Elisa. At this time, we'd like you to grab a pen and paper and take a few minutes to just jot down a reflection of what you just experienced. What do you notice about yourself? What do you notice about how your body feels? Did this movement exploration change the way you felt when you joined us today? You can write, you can draw, you can do both. Just take a few minutes to journal and reflect. Thank you, everyone. Take a moment to bring closure to what you're journaling.
All right, folks. So we're going to do just a little bit more breathing together. These are some more direct breathing exercises, so you can do these seated in your chair. All right, and for these breathing exercises, it's always a good idea. We want to try to create as much space as our lungs to breathe and expand as possible. So again, if you can, similar to our last one, I'm going to ask you to sit at the edge of your seat. You want your feet to be flat on the floor, and again, we're sitting with a nice long spine. Please try to uncross your legs. And if you give yourself a little wiggle from side to side, you want to feel those sit bones, those pokey parts that you sit on, are sharing equal weight. We also want to try to keep our sit bones pointing directly down towards our seat. So if you feel yourself kind of sitting back, you'll feel your sit bones are now pointing at your knees. Try to get those sit bones pointing straight down at your seat so that we're sitting square on our anchors. Again, we have a nice long spine, and you can just place your hands on your lap wherever they feel comfortable for you for this one, okay? Now, again, if you want a little playlist, if you would like a little soundtrack for this experience, I'm gonna offer you, there's one more YouTube link we're gonna drop in the chat for you. And this next YouTube song, if you are interested in playing it, it's a Gong Bath, which is just a series of different toned gongs in the background. So if that sounds appealing to you, go ahead and grab the YouTube link out of the chat. Otherwise, again, feel free to curate your own playlist for this experience. We are going to be doing some breathing, and it's allergy season, folks. So if you need to grab yourself a tissue, you may want to go ahead and do that. We are going to try to do 2 exercises briefly together. We'll do one for balancing our energy, and then we'll do one for bringing a little more vitality or vital energy into our bodies. These are both pranayama exercises, so they are yoga-based breathing exercises. The intention is to just help bring greater breath, greater oxygen to the bloodstream. First one is known as Nadi Shodhna's alternate nostril breathing. What we'll do is we're going to start with our right hand. You're going to close your first and second finger on the right hand. We'll be using our thumb and our fourth finger for this. For a Nadi Shodhna, what you'll do is using your thumb, you're going to close your right nostril with your thumb. And then we'll pinch both nostrils closed. We're going to hold our inhale in the middle for a quick second. Then we'll release our thumb and press with just the ring finger, so you're closing only your left nostril. We're going to be going from one side of the nose to the other as we breathe. Okay, I'll do this with you, so you're welcome to watch and follow along. Otherwise, if it's easy for you to follow those verbal directions, feel free to close your eyes away from the light, and we'll try this together. Again, sitting with a long spine. Taking the right hand to the nose, closing the first and second finger, take a full breath in and out. Closing the right nostril with the thumb, inhale. At the top of your inhale, close both nostrils, hold your breath. Releasing the thumb, exhale out the right nostril. Again, inhale right. Close both nostrils, hold your breath just a moment. And now we'll release our ring finger, we'll exhale out the left. Inhale left. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale right. One more round. Inhale right. Close both, hold your breath. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close both, hold your breath. And exhale right. Release your hand. Take a few easy breaths. Noticing your breath. Noticing any shifts in your breath, subtle or profound. If your eyes are closed, Gently blink your eyes open. If you need a tissue, take a moment, take a few deep breaths. We're going to do one more exercise together. This one's called the breath of fire. Breath of fire is a more active breathing exercise. This one is, as it might sound, brings a little bit more energy to the body. Now, breath of fire, we're going to use a very active contraction of our abdominal muscles. So it's almost like we're using a strong contraction of the abdominal muscles to push the air out. With breath of fire, we're going to focus on our exhale, and forcefully exhaling. Your inhale is going to happen naturally. So don't stress about the inhale. We're going to focus on that strong exhale. Quick demonstration. So what this is going to look like is, again, if I place my hands in my belly, so you can see where I'm trying to work from. On my exhale, I'm going to really strongly contract my abs. All right, so we're pulling the abdominal muscles in, almost like you're trying to like catch a football or something, right? So for this one, super strong, and it's going to be a fairly rapid pace. Rapid pace of exhale, again, fire breath. We're going to do 40 repetitions. Traditionally, when you practice this, you would do 2 repetitions of 40 exhales. For the purposes of today, we'll do 1 repetition just to get that experience. All right, let's try. Feet flat on the floor, again, sitting with a long spine. Take the hands to the belly, right above the belly button, to get that strong contraction in the abdominal muscles. Take a full breath in and out. And I'll count you through it. Deep breath in and exhale, 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 exhale. Keep going. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale, 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 exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Take a full breath in and out. Full breath in and out. Again, if your eyes are closed, gently blink your eyes open, and then bring your attention back to the screen when you're ready.
Thank you, Elisa. We are going to do another circle or one-word reflection. We're not going to use the Jamboard this time, just to keep things moving along in the interest of time. So we'd like to invite you to offer a one-word reflection or description for how you're feeling right now. And you can just drop it into the chat. And as you do that, after you drop it in, just notice what people have written and what people have reflected on. Grounded, elevated, alert, awake, relaxed. And I invite you to notice these reflections: optimistic, oxygenated, love it, and see how maybe they're different from the very first Jamboard we made. Or how they're the same, because they might be. Thank you, everyone. You can keep putting your reflections in if you would like. We're going to move on to our next slide, and I'm going to ask if we could put 2 links in the chat for you. One is our slide deck that we've used today, which includes these resources here, and the other things that we've talked about today. And also we have a 1-page info sheet for you that has a version of Elisa's script that she used for getting us moving, and also the breathing exercises. So we're going to drop those into the chat for you now. And I want to just bring your attention to this page, session resources, which is on your slide deck and also your one-page handout. These are some resources that the three of us compiled, and you will probably have more, you probably know about more, but these are just a few to get you started. The first collection is 3 apps for mindfulness. The Down Dog app is free for people with a CPS email address. The second collection is additional resources. A lot of these are things we added that might help you to apply some of these activities to an elementary school set. It also includes the 3 signature Cassell practices, Kira Wiley's books and YouTube page. I really love her Breathe Like a Bear, and another teacher friend, Enif Smith Austin at Hamilton, introduced me to her, so I love to share her books. And Gina Spears compiled a mindfulness resources for elementary school handout, which is really wonderful and comprehensive. So take a look at those. And then the last 2 links are music and sounds for guided practice. And I believe those are links that Elisa shared with us and that she also shared with us earlier for doing these breathing and movement activities for yourself or for your students. So those are there for you to take a look at and use. And I think we put the 2 links. Yes, we have this. Thank you, Nora. Nora put the slides and the info sheet in the chat. So those are there for you. So we're gonna move on and talk about some classroom connections. I'm gonna turn it over to Gina.
Awesome, thank you, MK. So we would like you to be able to take what you've learned today and take what you've experienced and find a way to give these experiences to our students, because we know our students are also under a lot of stress, and it's been a very long year for them as well. So we'd like you to reflect and maybe write in the chat and give us some ideas to share about ways that you can connect these activities to your classroom, and how you might modify them for your students, and what will you take away today just for you. So let's begin with some classroom connections. If you have any ideas, go ahead and drop them into the chat. Warm-ups for theater class, that's great. Advisory. Breathing and movement for middle school girls, nice. Breathing exercises before choir, cool downs after SEL discussions, transitions between classes, great. I do a mindfulness Monday with my students, and then whatever we learn on Monday, we carry it through the week. That is a great question, Miss Allie, about doing breathing exercises during COVID. I think as long as they're wearing masks and they're far enough apart from one another, I also encourage you to have everyone facing the same direction probably, so that the respiratory flow is all going in the same direction. I don't know if Elisa and MK want to add to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think also, personally, breath of fire is not something that I would do with the class right now, because it is a more forceful breath action. To be totally transparent, it's something that at least my teenagers, my high schoolers, sometimes have a hard time accessing anyway. It's the healthy challenge breath activity that we do. But those slow breathing activities, absolutely. Remember, we always want to give, however, that caveat that if it's not comfortable for you, you let it go and you breathe in a way that feels comfortable. Because especially if someone's, if someone's feeling it all stifled in their breath, we don't want them to start to have feelings of anxiety come up. So at the start of any breath activity, I strongly encourage you to just give your students that reminder that if at any time they're starting to feel discomfort from controlling their breath rather than soothing, that we let that go and just breathe in a way that feels comfortable for them.
I would agree with that. Yes, just encourage them to breathe at where they're at. And I just also would add that as Susanna said, breath work as rest between active dance activities. For me as a dance teacher, it's been huge for me being in the classroom the last 6 weeks to just remind myself that I don't have to bust a move through a half an hour quickly. I can take time because I need to breathe through that mask too. And I need to save my lungs, and you have to do that as well as teachers. So it's just the breathing and incorporating into your class is a good reminder for you as a teacher to slow down and to take a breath and give yourself the energy to get back into it.
Anything that you have that you will take away from today just for you, please add that to the chat if there's anything you experienced today that you know you'll do again. And if you can't think of anything, I encourage you to look through the slides at the resources that we shared. Those are definitely for you and your students. Thank you, Christine. Constructive rest. And carving out time to be mindful. Absolutely.
Folks, I wanted to encourage you as well with constructive rest. One of the things, the advantages of that particular pose is that it allows for a releasing in the lower back and the back of the pelvis. So if you are a person who can get lower back pain easily, or if you're sitting at a computer a lot and you've got some alignment things that are going on, that constructive rest pose can be a really beneficial one. It can be a really restorative pose, especially for lower back and even potentially tightness in the pelvis and in the sciatic nerves. So if that one was new for you, take it with you, because that can be great after a long day to release your spine.
If you really liked the meditation, there are lots and lots of videos you can find on YouTube, you know, if you just wanted someone else to guide you through that. There's lots of resources out there. Thank you, everyone. And here's our contact information. So that means you'll have it on the slides. It's also on the handout. Please feel free to reach out to any of us if you need anything or have any questions, or maybe you're trying some of this and you want some assistance with ways to adapt this for your students. We're happy to help.
And I just want to say thank you to all of you for being here, and thank you especially to Rachel and Nora and Christine from Department of Arts for being here to help us out today. Thank you so much.
Totally.
I want to give a hand to MK, Elisa, and Gina. Thank you so much for hosting this session. It was really really much needed. I just want to, as we wrap up, just remind people that you can share moments on about the conference on Instagram or Twitter if you want to. And just a reminder, you have a 10-minute break. Nora's dropping the reminder into the chat. You have a 10-minute break, 13-minute break now. And our closing session will begin at 12:10 p.m. You will need to use the unique webinar join link that you got in your registration email to access that closing session, the same exact one you used for the opening session. So you'll need to find that to hop onto that session, because the links are unique to everyone. But again, thank you so much. Shout out to all of our presenters.